Hey everyone, and welcome to the 2025 Triumph TF 450 RC Edition launch. Now you're probably thinking, what is RC? Well, it's exactly that. RC, Ricky Carmichael, the GOAT. The graphics prove it. Ricky Carmichael himself had a lot of influence on the development of this machine, and it's actually really exciting. Hopefully we get a chance to talk to him later today about exactly what his involvement was in the development of this. And he's been, as far as I know, he's been involved with this from the very, very beginning. Triumph started this project back in 2019, and lo and behold, here we go. The 2025 450 is here, and it's ready to hit dealers. I want to say February is what they said. In February of 25, these will be going to the dealers. So let's get into this thing. First and foremost, you're probably going to notice that the chassis is a little bit different than any other style of bike we see, from the Japanese to the European bikes. It's an aluminum frame. It's a spine design, so it doesn't have the twin spars like the other Japanese bikes do. And I made this note too on the 250 launch last year. The weldings on these, if you look really close at the weldings, they almost look too perfect. They almost look like machined because they're so perfect, but they're actually manufactured and welded by humans, by Triumph employees. So it's got a human touch. I think that's pretty neat. So you can connect to the bike via Bluetooth, and within that mobile application, it has 11 different settings you can choose from. And each setting is kind of named accordingly. It's kind of cool. Like if your conditions are muddy or if it's dry and hard packed, they have certain settings depending on the conditions. So you can go in there, select your setting, and you set it to map 2. Map 1 is always going to be standard. Map 2 is going to either be mellow, or depending on what you select inside the app, it'll be set to map 2. So you're always going to have 2 map selections right here on the bars for when you're out there riding. If you want to change it up, you got to come back in, connect to Bluetooth, and then change map 2 to whatever you're looking for. So that's pretty simple, pretty straightforward. I think that's actually really neat because in some other manufacturers, they offer apps as well. But you can go in there and you can literally customize it to however you want. You're dialing up the numbers however you want, and you're kind of, unless you're a pro or I don't know, unless you're really familiar with it, you're kind of guessing on how that might affect the performance. There's really no more power that we actually need, but what's really neat is if we want to kind of mellow out that power, or we want the power to be delivered in a certain area, maybe so we want some more bottom end or we want some more mid, we can do that within the app, and it's so simple. So simplicity is great. It's just an added bonus to me. Yeah, another cool thing too about this platform is it's a universal platform. And that means the 250 model and the 450 model share the same frame, the linkage, swing arm. They share the exact same platforms. The point is, from a manufacturing perspective and from a rider perspective, you're getting the same ergonomics. And I think that's just makes it simple. And if you saw my 250 review, the overall handling of the chassis was just so compliant, very precise, very smooth. It felt very planted. I would suspect that this platform is going to offer the 450 model is going to be offering that same sort of feel. So, we'll see how that works out for us. So for 2025, Triumph is launching this particular model. There is not going to be a standard model for 25. It's just going to be the RC edition.
Okay, so upgrades on the TF450 RC edition model include Ricky Carmichael's RC4 signature ODI handlebars, as well as ODI lock-on grips. We get a neck and triple clamp setup supporting our KYB coil forks, a hole shot device, also a gripper seat with ribs to help keep us in that optimal riding position, and my personal favorite, the Dunlop MX34 tires. Comes with a 110 rear, Brembo brake system, front and rear with steel braided lines, a fully loaded switch box on the left side of the handlebars. That includes launch control, quick shift, traction control, and ride modes. We also get the option for vented or non-vented side airbox covers, and those come with the bike. And of course, we get this fancy Hinson clutch cover for durability and good looks. And speaking of good looks, this TF450 RC edition would certainly not be complete without a custom RC graphics kit, and that includes GOAT logos and of course Ricky Carmichael's partners. So this thing looks pretty sick. Let's go see how it feels on the track. without any further ado, why don't we just catch up with Ricky Carmichael himself and see what he has to say about this thing.
All right, guys, what's up? So you might recognize this guy right here. This is the GOAT. This is Ricky Carmichael.
Yes.
And man, today we got to ride Ricky Carmichael's Edition Triumph.
Yeah.
And I'm so stoked about this thing.
Thanks, dude. Yeah, so it's been a fun project. The TI-450 RC replica. And to do it here at the Triumph facility definitely has been special. No doubt about that. And, it was a lot of a build-up to get to this point. We did the 250 rollout earlier this year. Now the 450 rollout with all of you guys this week. And it's a lot of fun. And, really, we always talk about the bike and what's it like. And, of course, I like it. It's my replica bike. But it really, I'm interested to see how you guys liked it just as much as I like it.
For sure. So going back to the whole, this has been a long process for you.
Yeah.
You've been on the ground level with these guys since day one.
Yeah, day one.
So they approached you, was it 2019?
Yep, well, we were talking about it around 2018,
Okay.
and then it really came to fruition in 2019. So yeah, from the inception of the project, I was there at the grassroots.
That's cool. And that was before, so when Triumph approached you, did they have any type of base level model, like, hey, this is what we're thinking? Or was it just from scratch?
Well, they had thoughts and ideas of what they wanted to do and where they wanted to go.
But they had no chassis, they had nothing.
There was nothing. So I go back to the first time that we tested, and they had a couple parts that they had made, and we put them on other manufactured bikes, and not theirs. So yeah, we were just trying at that stage to get a direction. What style frame do we want? What material frame do we want? Do we want perimeter? Do we want spine frame? Do we want steel? Do we want aluminum? And
so you were involved in that process of materials.
A process of the materials, and what kind of swing arm design do we want to go with, and really the base of the bike. So yeah, from the ground up, and it came at an incredible time in my career. I wanted to be part of building something like this from the ground up, with such an iconic name in the brand of Triumph Motorcycles. I mean, they're an incredible brand. And the biggest thing, like when I look back on the project, I would say it was so comforting to see how receptive all of the engineers were. The headquarters.
Open to your ideas.
Open to, all of our ideas. Like myself, Ivan Tedesco, Ivan Cervantes. We were kind of like the three test guys early on. And then there were some other guys back in the UK doing some other things as well, just because it was a little bit more convenient at the time. But so we were in those conversations and helping them along, and just giving them our ideas of what we thought would work well for them, not only in the racing side of things, but in just the marketplace, just someone who wants to buy this motorcycle and go ride it on the weekend.
That's a good point, because I remember in your presentation last night, you were like, hey guys, I'm Ricky Carmichael. This is my Edition bike, but this isn't necessarily designed specifically for a guy like Ricky Carmichael, right? You want to kind of cater to the masses in a way.
That's right.
So weekend warrior, high level factory racer.
That's right.
You get that out of this machine?
I believe we do. I think that we've hit that mark. And I go back to that process. I was all for aluminum chassis. I feel like aluminum chassis has a lot more potential than the steel chassis. Maybe I'm wrong. I'm not an engineer, but I like.
It's all about feel, man.
Yeah, it's all about feel and what the potential gains could be, 5, 6, 10 years down the road. And I just like what that is all about. So that was a touchy situation, because I felt like at one stage we were going to end up going steel. And then at the last second they ended up going aluminum. I'm like, oh, thank God. So it was. That's how we ended up with the aluminum chassis. But going back to your original question, is that when I'm developing something, and when I'm developing this bike, I want it to be good for the consumer. They're the ones that are buying the machine, and I want to create this fantastic experience for them. At the same time, I know if we make something good for the marketplace, and it's to my standards and the whole rest of the testing guys' standards, that it'll be good box stock, and then it's just going to complement the racing team.
For sure.
So yes, we have the racing team in mind. They're a massive focus, but at the same time, you have to make it rideable for the the general consumer. And for me, where I'm at, I'm definitely thinking about that a lot.
Yeah, that's awesome. I mean, you got to have the perspective too. If you're building a production level product, to go out there around the world, right?
Yeah.
You got to do something for everyone.
Well, and this is, with the replica bike, I mean, it isn't exactly how I would run the sag or the suspension settings to the T if I was racing professional. For me and how I ride today, absolutely, it works well and it's plenty fine. It actually performs better than I can ride it. I can't even ride it to its true potential. So that's where you get fun with the designs and having other mutual partners on there. And we talk about the gripper seat.
Yeah.
My signature ODI bars, grips. We got the Henson clutch cover, Dunlop tires, and the whole shot device, and we got a different mapping as well. So just some little personal touches there.
I tried your map today.
Did you?
I liked it.
All right.
I liked it better than standard.
Did you?
Okay, so I have to clarify with you on this, okay? I was in standard mode, and it felt fine. It was really slick this morning, but I felt like for the conditions, it just had a little bit too much low-end torque for me.
Yeah.
Okay, it was pretty snappy, and I'm like, oh, okay, let me see what Ricky's got going on.
Yeah.
So I put on your map, and I felt like I had more control.
Right.
Okay, so
good.
even off the bottom end, I don't know if, so I talked to the tech, and I said, yeah, I like Ricky map. I feel like it's more smoother off the bottom. Yeah. Is that right?
Yeah, you are exactly right.
Thank you.
Yeah, you got good feels. So how, basically, if you could imagine a power curve line where the stock mapping kind of ramps up and picks up pretty fast, where mine's a little bit more linear and there's it kind of fills that gap. So and that can be a little misleading sometimes, because even though you don't feel that hit, it's just more broad. The power is still there.
Sure.
So that's what I tried to do, just because I like a smoother linear power.
Okay, cool. I just wanted to clarify, because I brought it in, I talked to the tech, I'm like, yeah, I went to Ricky's map and I liked it better. And he's like, really?
Yeah.
He's like, I think he said something like there was supposed to be more bottom end. I'm like, I don't know if it's me or what's going on, but it definitely felt more controllable.
Yeah, I think it is more controllable. Again, I think it's a little bit linear, but it's good to have that option.
For sure.
So like for me, if the condition was a little bit different today and I wanted to feel that the power and the curve of what the original ECU does, the production ECU, I would have put it on that ECU. But overall, I like my my mapping better and how I ride. I love to hold the gears a little bit longer, not try to shift as much, and it really caters to that.
Nice. One more question I have for you. When they approached you and they're like, Ricky, we're going to build this bike and we want you to help us, was there something you were like, I got to have it? If I'm going to build a bike, I got to have this.
That's a great question. So first of all, I asked them what their commitment level was, because luckily I'm in a position to where I just don't want to put my name on something. And and how I got into the Triumph brand and a part of that team was my old boss at Suzuki had went to Triumph. So that was kind of the nexus and how I got to where I was. And he had told me what they were working on, and I asked, how serious, what do you guys want to do? What's the goal? And hey, we want to have the best bike in the marketplace, and we want to have a winning championship winning team.
Sure.
I'm like, all right, and he knew what that what entails, what details that takes to get to that level. Yeah. And I have a lot of trust in the guy. And that was how we landed here. And then as far as this bike, I was all for the aluminum chassis like we talked about, but just a really good balanced bike, something that does a lot of things well and not many things bad. Yeah. And I think that we've accomplished that.
I say so too. I mean, just after today, I put maybe a couple hours on this thing. It does really just feel nicely balanced.
Yeah, nice balance.
I go for the fun factor, man. You know what I mean? I'm about the fun factor. If the bike's nicely balanced, has good controllable power, to me, that's the perfect combination.
Sweet. I'm glad you like it, because at the end of the day, no matter what I like, if you don't like it and the consumers don't like it and the race team guys don't like it, then there's a problem. But for the first generation of the TF line, I think that everyone has done a great job, from the design group to the engineers, everyone back at Hinckley, the headquarters, and then of course the test guys along the way from the grassroots that had been there. So it's a testament to their hard work. We have a really, really good crew, I believe. And again, for the first gen, I think we're doing all right.
Yeah, you guys put something together quite nice, man.
Thank you very much.
And I feel the love here at Triumph.
Yeah.
Everyone here, they have a lot of pride in this thing. They're really excited about.
Well, the thing about Triumph, and if you go to their headquarters, it's everyone there touches each project of whatever line that they have. and they feel like they are a part of each model and again each line that they come out with. So when you create that kind of culture, they're doing it because of the love of the brand. It's just not a job. So yeah, they have a great culture there, and I think this is a clear result of that.
Nice.
Yeah.
Ricky, appreciate you, man.
You bet.
You heard it from the man himself. Thank you, guys. Ricky, maybe we'll see you at the next one, huh?
Yeah, absolutely.
Cool.
You better
Thank you, man.
be. You
Appreciate
better
it.
be. Thank you, guys.
Well, that's going to wrap it up for us, guys. Thanks again for tuning in to Ultimate Motorcycling. If you have any further questions about the TF450 RC, please let us know down in the comments below. We do our best to reply to all comments. Now, if you're looking for more detailed specs on this thing, head over to ultimatemotorcycling.com for our full written report. And of course, as always, guys, have fun out there and stay safe.